Betrayal's End. A game of lies and revenge. I used to think life was predictable. You work hard, build something real, and in return, you get stability. Love. Trust. Turns out, I was dead wrong. I was married to Claire for 7 years. 7 damn years. And for at least the last 6 months, she was screwing my best friend, Daniel. My so-called brother. The guy who was at our wedding. The guy I trusted with my life. I didn't catch him in bed. No dramatic walk-in moment. No lipstick on the collar. It was worse. I found out by accident. A forgotten phone. A message that popped up right in front of me. Just 6 words. Last night was incredible. Same time. At first, my brain refused to process it. I just sat there, staring at the screen, waiting for some logical explanation to hit me. Something that would make this not what it looked like. But then the second message came. Michael's so clueless. You're perfect. That's when my stomach dropped. I wasn't even angry at first. I was just numb. Like my mind couldn't wrap itself around the idea that the woman I loved, the woman I built a life with, was lying to my face every single day. But that numbness? Yeah. It didn't last long. Because once the shock faded, something else took its place. Cold. Hard. Rage. And let me tell you something. I ain't the type to just walk away. Number I was gonna make 'em pay. Game on. I didn't do anything right away. See, most guys would have snapped. Stormed into the house, flipped tables, started screaming. Maybe even thrown a punch. That's exactly what they'd expect. But me, I played the long game. That night, I acted normal. Hell, I even kissed Claire when she got home. Asked how her day was, poured her a glass of wine, let her sit across from me like she wasn't lying to my face every second she breathed. She smiled, laughed at my jokes, told me she loved me. And all I could think was, damn, you're good at this. But I was better. First thing I did? Got proof. The message was enough for me, but not for what I had planned. I needed something that would bury them both. So I started watching, listening, checking her phone when she wasn't looking. Turns out, she wasn't even trying to hide it. Late-night work meetings, weekend girls' trips, even some fake emergency about her mom being sick. And Daniel? That bastard was just as reckless. Their pattern was so damn predictable, it was almost funny. So I made sure they kept thinking they were safe. While they were sneaking around, I was setting the stage. Step 1. The false confession. A few nights later, I made my move. I sat on the couch, acting all stressed out, running a hand through my hair. Claire noticed. Of course she did. She was good at pretending to care. You okay? She asked, tilting her head like she gave a damn. I let out a shaky breath. I need to tell you something. Her body tensed just a little. Guilt. But she forced a soft smile. What is it? I looked her right in the eyes and lied through my damn teeth. I cheated on you. Silence. Her face went pale. What? I sighed, shaking my head. I didn't mean for it to happen. It was a mistake. It meant nothing. Now I knew exactly what she was thinking. If he cheated, then I'm not the bad guy. He can't be mad if he ever finds out about me and Daniel. She blinked a few times, gripping her wine glass. I don't know what to say. I reached for her hand. I needed to be honest. And I don't want to lose you, Claire. And just like that, I saw the gears in her head start turning. Guilt? Gone. Now? She was relieved, which was exactly what I wanted. I was going to make her feel safe, and then I was going to rip her entire world apart. The hardest part? Keeping my cool. Every time I looked at Claire, I wanted to laugh. She thought she had the upper hand. Thought she could keep sneaking around while I was sitting here, feeling guilty about some fake-ass confession. Nah. I was playing her. And Daniel? That idiot had no clue either. He was still smiling in my face like he wasn't about to lose everything. Step 2. The evidence. I got cameras. Tiny, wireless, damn near invisible. Put them in the bedroom, the living room, even inside her car. They recorded everything straight to my phone. And man, the things I saw. I watched them laugh at me. Talk about how clueless I was. How he'd never suspect a thing. I almost lost it right there. But I held on. Because this was gold. The kind of proof that couldn't be explained away. And I wasn't just going to keep it to myself. I was going to put on a show. Claire's birthday was coming up. Perfect timing. She wanted a fancy dinner, something intimate with close friends and family. So I booked a private room at an upscale restaurant. Set everything up. Made sure everyone was coming. And then I connected my phone to the big screen TV in the room. Yeah, you already know where this is going. The night of the party, Claire was glowing, smiling, kissing me like she wasn't a complete snake. People were drinking, laughing, having a good time. Then I stood up, raised my glass. Hey everybody, before we eat, I want to share something special with you all. A little birthday surprise for my amazing wife. Claire's eyes lit up. Oh, babe, you didn't have to. I clicked a button on my phone, and the video started playing. Silence. Then, gasps. Her face went white as a sheet, because right there, on the big screen, in front of her parents, my parents, our friends, was her and Daniel, all of it. Every kiss, every touch, every damn lie. She stopped breathing, looked at me with pure horror. I just smiled. Happy birthday, babe. The room was dead silent. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. Just the sound of Claire's shaky breathing as she stared at the screen, watching her entire life crumble. Her mother covered her mouth, eyes wide with shock. My dad let out a long sigh, shaking his head like he saw this coming. Claire's best friend looked at her like she was seeing a total stranger. And Daniel, that bastard was frozen. He hadn't even blinked. Then Claire snapped. Michael, she whispered, voice barely there. This isn't... You what? I cut her off, taking a slow sip of my drink. You didn't do it? 'Cause, the video kinda says otherwise. She shot up from her chair, shaking. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly. I leaned back, tilting my head. You thought I was stupid. Thought I'd never find out. Thought you could laugh behind my back while I took care of you. Paid for this whole damn life we built. I scoffed. Well, look how that turned out. Daniel finally snapped out of it. Man, Shut up. He flinched. Good. Claire turned to the guests, desperate. It's not what it looks like. Really? I raised a brow. 'Cause to me, it looks like you've been screwing Daniel in my house, in our bed. More gasps. Her dad, who'd always been so proud of his perfect daughter, stood up, face red with rage. Claire, tell me this isn't true. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out, because there was nothing left to say. The room was dead silent. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Just the sound of Claire's shaky breathing as she stared at the screen, watching her entire life crumble. Her mother covered her mouth, eyes wide with shock. My dad let out a long sigh, shaking his head like he saw this coming. Claire's best friend looked at her like she was seeing a total stranger. And Daniel? That bastard was frozen. He hadn't even blinked. Then Claire snapped. Michael, she whispered, voice barely there. This isn't... You what? I cut her off, taking a slow sip of my drink. You didn't do it? 'Cause, the video kinda says otherwise. She shot up from her chair, shaking. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly. I leaned back, tilting my head. You thought I was stupid. Thought I'd never find out. Thought you could laugh behind my back while I took care of you. Paid for this whole damn life we built. I scoffed. Well, look how that turned out. Daniel finally snapped out of it. Man, Shut up. He flinched. Good. Claire turned to the guests, desperate. It's not what it looks like. Really? I raised a brow. 'Cause to me, it looks like you've been screwing Daniel in my house. In our bed. More gasps. Her dad, who'd always been so proud of his perfect daughter, stood up, face red with rage. Claire, tell me this isn't true. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Because there was nothing left to say. Claire grabbed my arm, tears in her eyes. Michael, please, we can fix this. I laughed, right in her face. Fix this. I shook my head, stepping away. Nah, babe, you broke this, and now you get to live with the consequences. That's when I pulled out the envelope, thick stack of papers inside. What's that? She asked, voice barely above a whisper. I grinned. Divorce papers, already signed. Oh, and don't worry, I made sure you get nothing. Her breath hitched. Wait, I turned to Daniel. And you? I hope you enjoy this little relationship while it lasts. 'Cause you know what they say, if she cheats with you. I smirked. She'll cheat on you. Daniel swallowed hard. Yeah, now it's clicking. Claire was breaking, falling apart right in front of me. I leaned in, lowering my voice just for her. This whole time, you thought you were playing me, I whispered. But I was always 5 steps ahead. She shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. Michael. I grabbed my glass, raised it one last time. To karma, I said. And then I walked out, leaving her in the wreckage of her own damn lies.